What is an icebreaker? The definition is a thing that serves to relieve inhibitions or tension between people, or to start a conversation. This will obviously be a one-way conversation while I introduce myself, which is something of a challenge for me. I have an extremely difficult time talking about myself, as I am a very shy person. I've struggled with shyness as long as I can remember, and it's often held me back in my life in achieving my personal or professional goals, which is one of the many reasons I have found myself a member of Toastmasters. I am tired of being my own worst enemy. Over the past 15 years, I have taken many small steps in my life for personal development, and I have gotten a lot better over those years. However, standing in front of all of you today is probably one of the most terrifying things I've done in a long time, because I have allowed myself to get complacent again, and I have my switch turned off. Let me elaborate on this point for a minute. The on-off switch. In preparing for this speech, I had already decided to tackle this subject, and on Thursday at my workplace, we had a conference call across Canada. Afterwards, there was about 8 people who joined the call from my local office, and we began to discuss the topic of the call, which was mentorship. From this subject, we delved into career planning, and then the topic of communication came up. There was one manager in the room, and I began to talk about my struggles in communicating and networking with others. He surprisingly told me that he sometimes struggles as well, despite the fact that he appears extremely extroverted and confident when he engages with people. He admitted recently at a company event that lasted well into the evening that he had to keep his switch on that day, that after 12 hours, he just wanted to shut down. And his introverted self simply had enough for that day. And that made me realize that my switch is permanently off, and I need to work on making sure that I have it turned on. At my particular company, promotions are given not only based on hard work, but based on the candidate's personal skills. Personality is huge. Not that you need to be that in-your-face, self-promoting person, but knowing how to build those relationships with people at every level, with my colleagues, my manager, his manager, and the rest of the people on my team in other roles. At my previous companies, I often was promoted based solely on hard work. 9 years ago, I was promoted into a people manager position, and I was not at all ready or prepared for that. At the time, I didn't realize it. Now at my current place of employment, there is so much focus on ensuring that the right person fits into the right role. There is absolutely no way that if I worked at that company 9 years ago that I would have been put in that leadership position, and even right now, there's no way I would be considered for that. As I begin my Toastmasters journey, I realize I have about 18 to 24 months for me to get where I want to be in terms of my communication and confidence level. As you notice me coming into these meetings, you might see that I go and sit down immediately, speak very little to people. This is my normal reaction in uncomfortable situations. And if you see me do this and you have a minute, just please come up to me and engage me in a very small conversation. And I hope that I will eventually not go to that normal reaction, and I will come in and say hello to as many people as possible. One final note, I was born and raised here in Calgary. I am a second-generation Calgarian because my father was born here too. Some people think that that's a mythical creature, like I'm the Tooth Fairy or Santa Claus, as they don't believe that anybody is actually born here. But I'm here to say it's true, and if there are any other native Calgarians in the room, then you're probably familiar with this struggle. Thank you.